but it's late at night on the East Coast. It's probably like 12:36 right now on the East Coast. On the West Coast, it's probably what, 9:30, 9:36. And over here on the other side of the world, it's like 1:32 or 1:36. But anyways, thank y'all for joining this live. I'm gonna kind of move a little bit slow so more people can enter the live and see what we got going on today. It's pretty much going over some of the stuff that we basically went through with the what's that, the 2024 Audi RS3, and what we were basically looking at, because that's one of the cars that I was kind of interested in, just to see where or how much it was gonna go for on the auction. So what I realized is it went, because I thought it was gonna go anywhere in between like 15 to maybe $16,000 the most. So it went all the way up. It skyrocketed all the way up to about what, 18,000 something, 18,500. So y'all could see the video that I, or not the video, but the live that I did this morning. Plus I also made sure to do a other video separate on the side, so I just gotta edit up that real quick later on, so I could probably either post it either today or tomorrow for y'all to have, which is already Saturday on the other side of the world. So for y'all that's over there, it's, Friday still. So yeah, I gotta get that done for y'all, and then you're gonna hear me talk more about it and how to navigate through certain stuff and which one is better and so on. But today's on the auction that I was watching. It's the insurance auto auction from Asheville, North Carolina. So that video, or that auction, that one is public. So like, that's one of the states where, or North Carolina is one of the states where you could do any you could do public buying. So for, if you wanted to do public buying, North Carolina is one of the states. I think Arizona is one of the states as well. Uh, there's some parts in Texas are one of the only thing with Texas. It's kind of like a iffy one, because say for instance, you have some places in Texas they'll let the public bid on clear titles, and then but most of the places in Texas, they only let you bid on salvage title cars. So, and I want to say sometimes they will let you build on like the vehicles that you can't really repair anymore, and for those ones, it's just normally people just either buy them just to rebuild those, not rebuild those cars, but basically pull those cars for parts. And so that's one of the good things too, when you could buy those cars too as well if you wanted to. But the one that we basically watched earlier today was for Asheville, North Carolina. For them, it's just public bidding. I think they have normally clean title cars or salvage title, or I think the other one is like non-repairable cars. So for those cars, you could bid on them in North Carolina as long as it's public. And then some of the time you'll see that little bar that says public in it, and that bar should just let you know like, hey, you could do public bidding with this car, or to get the car or whatever. So sometimes that is a good thing to do, because now, say for instance, like, I think I was just looking at a car, I want to say like a couple minutes ago, and I think, and it's a specific place in Texas, I don't remember, but that place in Texas, you could bid on a clean title car. It was a clean title, what is it, a 2024 Nissan Kick, yeah. And I think they had it for like what, 8 grand. So $8,000 is not a lot, because versus a lot of people are buying a Nissan Kick, I want to say for about maybe 30,000 dollars. Some people are buying Nissan Kicks for it. So for you to get it at a public auction in Texas, but mind you, no airbags are blowing. I want to say it got hit in the front, but when I was looking at the pictures, it wasn't all that bad. So that's what I'm saying. So that is another way to go. And the car only had about what, 5,000 or 4,000 miles on it. So sometimes it's good to look for. That's what I'm saying. Sometimes you could get a good deal, but it's on certain cars. But for certain cars, certain other cars now, you won't get that good deal. Like if you're looking for like some top of the line car, like how most of the cars that that I work on the channel, it's either German for a while, and then I'll move from the German cars to the American cars. And then sometimes what you can realize is by doing that is I just try to see if I could level the content for everybody. What I want to start getting into next is some of the Japanese cars, and so do more cars or more different cars in a sense. But one thing that I've noticed with the auction is it's a double-edged sword in a sense, because if the cars are cheap, then just know the parts are expensive, right? If the car is expensive, just know the parts are cheap. But even though the parts are cheap, if the car is expensive in a sense, or if you buy the car off the auction, like the bid it's just more people's gonna bid on the car. So like for instance, say a Dodge, right? You could get parts for a Dodge anywhere in the States. It's easier to get parts for a Dodge. So since it's easier to get parts for a Dodge, when you're bidding on it, the bidding for the Dodge might probably go skyrocket. Versus with a German car, not everybody really wants to work on a German car. So because of that, is buying it off the auction, you might get it a bit cheaper, but guess what? The parts are really expensive, or you have to like search for parts, and it's hard to search for parts at the same time with German cars. And then you have to look for a deal, or so that's the only headache with dealing with German cars. Then once you finish rebuilding a German car, guess what you got to do? You got to reprogram this, you got to reprogram that. Versus when you're dealing with an American car, it's just put everything where it needs to go, turn it on, and it starts going. But now we're seeing more technology being implemented in these American cars. So now some of these things have to be programmed to let the car run properly. As for the Japanese cars, I always know for Honda is one of them big ones that love to do the same thing when it comes to programming as well. Toyota, I wouldn't say not so much, but they're getting big into that too. So that is the next one. So but yeah, so that's how basically going through some of the stuff with these cars makes sense, or just kind of like come together in a sense. The next thing, as I was saying, was since that's a public auction though, so you could have like bid on anything, because as y'all saw that I basically have everything opened up to all the public auctions. And I think the one in Asheville was one, and I think it was Atlanta. I think I had Atlanta A, B, C, and D, I think. So for those in Atlanta, it's like different places, and or no, not different. It's just the same section. The only thing is that they have different lanes running, and since they have different lanes running on the auction, you could just bid on more different cars. Now, the reason why I do that is to see what's out there. So say the next time when say the Audi is finished, and then I'm like, okay, I need to have a next build for the channel so everybody knows what's going on the channel. Doing that is gonna be like looking for the next build, see how, and then sometimes it's better to like look at some of these cars. For me, it's kind of harder because say if I'm all the way in Arizona, or I'm all the way in North Carolina, and I need a car that I'm gonna buy all the way from Georgia. If I can't drive to Georgia to go look at it, I'm gonna have to take the pictures from where it is, for what it is. Now, in terms of that, is the best ideal thing that I like to do is when it comes to cars where I'm buying in a different state, the best thing is to do is look at who is selling the car. So if it's Progressive, if it's State Farm, if it's any one of those, if it's any one of those insurance companies, then I'm more likely to buy the car, because I know it's probably not a whole bunch of stuff is gone off the car. That's number one. Number two, it probably was at a paint shop or a body shop, whichever one you want to use, and it probably was sitting there for a while. Even though it's been sitting there for a while, let's say some of the parts they haven't taken them off, or so I gotta think about that. Or some of the parts they could already take them off, set it aside, and then realize, okay, this car is about to be totaled, and then by the time when the tow truck comes to get the car, you have a whole bunch of car parts laying around as well. So you have that too to think about as well. So that is another reason why I'm kind of like shifting towards certain things, just to see how everything plays out. So that's another thing you gotta think about when it comes to bidding on these cars. But that is my easiest way that I use to, as I said, if I'm buying them. But now you gotta think about these fees, right? The fees are getting like a lot more. So that's what I'm saying. Sometimes you could watch a car and just see how the deal is. Like, for example, that 2021 Ford Escape that I bought, I want to say I think I bought it 2 years ago. I think I bought it in 2023. I bought that car. Now with that car, I won the bid for $3,800, right? Won the bid for $3,800. Now, because I won the bid for $3,800, the auction basically was like, okay, we want to sell it for $6,500. I was like, $6,500. Then I was gonna put like, I'll buy for $5,000. But in my head, I was like, you know what? No, I won the car, so let me just add $100. So instead of paying $3,800 for it, I ended up giving them $3,950. I want to say that's what I put down, and then they got back to me and said, hey, you could get the car for that. So getting the car for that made it a lot easier in a sense, right? Now because I got the car for that, the only difference is because I got the car in, I think it was Oklahoma. So Oklahoma, that was a clean title car, right? But to get the car shipped to me I think it was like $1,200 or $1,000 to ship it to me in Arizona. When I got the car shipped to me, I think, long story, I think I ended up paying like $5,000 in total for the car, fees, and to get it. No, $6,000. Everything came up to for cars, fees, and plus to have the car shipped to me. Now, since it was $6,000 for all of that, the next process that I did was, okay, $6,000 for that. Now, to rebuild the car, because remember, we're trying to keep the costs as low as possible, right? So now I'm thinking, what's the next step? The next step is to see how much parts I really need. When we basically pull all of the damaged parts out, and that's the thing too, that was a insurance car, right? So I end up getting every single part plus more, because there was like some oil in the car and I didn't know where that oil came from. So, and I definitely know the transmission has oil in it, and I definitely know it didn't look like transmission oil, and the car had engine oil in it. So I guess whatever shop they had it at, they just probably put some bottles of oil in it and left it in there. So with that it was either, before I even end up starting spending a whole bunch of money, the first thing that I wanted to do was to see if the car really starts or not. So before anything gets sucked into the engine and all of that, I started dismantling the car, write down a parts list to figure out what I need. Now, with the parts list that I wrote down, I was like, hey, it's either gonna cost $7,000 or $7,500 to buy all these parts to fix the Ford Escape. So $7,000 in parts. I'm like, okay, this is a fairly new car, right? Excuse me. It's a fairly new car. So since it's a fairly new car, what else could I do? I'm like, let me look for another one just in case. So before I end up starting throwing money or buying another car and not knowing if it's gonna work or not, I end up just say I think I went to a junkyard. They had one, and I think when I first thing I did was pull the starter off. The starter was basically cracked in half. So since the starter was cracked in half from the accident, I make sure to look at the motor and everything else, and nothing else was cracked in half except the starter. So that was the first thing why the car didn't start. So what I did, I ended up going there and then say, hey, I'll just buy the starter. I think I ended up paying what, $60 for the starter. So the $60 that I paid for the starter, now once I put it back on the car, saw that it starts, then now I could be like, okay, now I could definitely throw money at this car because the starter is out the way. So now that the starter is on, we already know, okay, that's now we need to focus on the $7,000, that if we're gonna spend $7,000 on this car, or I'm gonna buy a parts car. So now we end up finding a parts car that was in Detroit. Was it Detroit? So there was one car in Detroit and one car in Louisiana. When I checked both of them, I didn't really care if it was salvage or non-repairable, because the only thing that I wanted was everything from the front going back to, I want to say, the radiator, and maybe I think it was and maybe one airbag, and that was the knee airbag, right? Because the steering wheel airbag didn't go off, and then I still have to pull everything out from it in the center console and all, so I could get that SRS module to safety restore, or I think it's a safety restore. You could either use safety restore or I think it's LND solutions, one out of those two. So I basically checked the prices for both companies. Now, since we got those, since I was looking for those two cars, while looking for those two cars, I'm thinking, is it better to pay the $7,000 in our brand new parts, or buy a parts car and spend less? So we end up winning the parts car for, I think it's like $2,500. I think it was 25 or $2,200. I think at first, or yeah, I think it was $2,200. And me and the auction was basically going back and forth to see how. And I think at the last moment, I think we either settled on 2,500, or if it wasn't 25, it was $2,600. But I think at the time I was like, I'm not gonna go over 2,500, but we end up settling on 26, right? So since we settled on 26, now what it come around again was to get the car shipped to me, all the way in Arizona. But this car was all the way in Detroit, Michigan. So the car was all the way in Detroit, but the other parts car that I wanted in Louisiana, that car was already sold. So now we had to shift to the one in Detroit. The only thing one in Detroit was, this car was, y'all saw the car. The car is on the Ford Escape that we got on the channel. So we had to basically strip that apart and just get all the parts that we could. Now, the good thing about that is, since I took all the parts that I needed, well, I spent about $5,000 to get that to me. I still end up saving $2,500. Now, we put the 2021 Ford Escape. We basically took all the parts off the 2020 Ford Escape and put it on the 2021. The only thing that I did not do, and then I realized till lately, and I'm gonna have to pull the whole front off again off the 2021 Ford Escape, and just route the wire for that sensor in the front. It's the crash, I think it's like a crash sensor. So just in case if somebody walks out in front of the car just automatically brakes. So I need to put that wire and harness and put that sensor in the front. But that was the only two things that was different about the 2020 and the 2021. And because of that, I still end up saving a whole bunch of money. So now, think about it. I spent $6,000 to get the first car, $5,000 to get the second car. So now I'm basically all in at what, 11? So now I'm looking at, okay, all in at 11. The next thing is, since I'm all in at 11, what I gotta do next? The next thing I gotta do now is, I have the engine, transmission. I think I end up selling like $200-300 worth of Ford Escape parts. Some parts I want to say I should have just sold it for whatever somebody was offering. Like, I think the battery, somebody wanted to buy it for like, I think it's like $80, $70, and I told them like $100, and I still have the battery to this day. So that also taught me not to hold on certain things, because quick sale, small profit. That's how I look at it right now. So the more quick sale I get, the faster the turnover. The faster the turnover, the more money I make. And the more money I make, the more money I could invest back in the channel and to basically make more new videos for y'all, so y'all could see how we're doing this. But so that is one of the issues that I realized with that what happened basically with that Ford Escape. So, but the only thing is now is, in order for me, with the one in Michigan, I think I could not, if I used Copart, I would have spent way more. So now this is how I said I'll just try to shop around. So with if I use Copart, I would have paid in total with shipping and everything, I would have ended up paying about what, $6,000. But what I did was use AutoBid Master. AutoBid Master ended up, because I think I had a VIP membership at the time with them. For me, I end up paying, what is it? I end up paying the $5,000 instead of $6,000 with Copart. So that is another thing too, is sometimes being like bidding as a public member on these auctions, you probably pay more. But if you have a, what you call it, if you have a membership or a business license, it's easier and it's cheaper, because once you're doing things as a business, basically it's cheaper in a sense for you to get certain things, and then you have to have like licenses and stuff like that. So that is another reason why it basically worked out that way. So so that's what I'm saying. Those are a couple of the things that y'all could know. What I'm gonna try to see if I could do is I might try to either do a different state live for the live on the auctions every morning. I'm gonna just do that while I'm not in the United States currently. So, and then as I said, I'm still working on that surprise that we have out here in Japan, to see what we could do out here. I just gotta focus. I got a whole bunch of thing going on behind the scenes, so I'm trying to see which way and what stuff I could deal with from what I can, and basically have everything to just come together in a sense. But yeah, we have a whole bunch of stuff that we're trying to like navigate through behind the scenes for y'all, so to let y'all know that how we're gonna take the channel to the next level. But yeah, that's most of the stuff that is easy to navigate through. And just to give you guys a general idea of how the bidding process goes while buying cars publicly. If I'm gonna get a car that I'm gonna buy that's not public, then I'll show you that as well, how I'll do it. But it's either gonna have to be on a live, or if I'm doing a live, I'm gonna do the live but still have my other camera recording. So who don't really want to watch the whole live, I could just basically size down that video for y'all to see the points that y'all really need, versus watching say an hour or a 30-minute long video, whichever way. And I could just like shrink that down to say 10 minutes, and it works out better for y'all. So yes, I am trying to work on some new merch. It's just a whole bunch of people have been asking me, even out here in Japan. I have a couple friends that's in the military as well, and then they out there on deployments, and they're telling me like, hey, yo, I'm wearing your shirt in Germany, or yo, I'm wearing your shirt in the Philippines, or so I have a couple friends that are just all over the place. So they're saying, hey, I need to make more shirts or more jackets or whatever. I told them I still haven't gotten a chance yet. I'm trying to think of a new design or something. So because after this video or after this live, I am gonna try to take care of that too. So I got that next to do on the sidelines as well. But yeah, I'm pretty sure one of these days when I'm gonna make another video, as I said, to show the process of not having a like for example, Virginia. Virginia, if you don't have a public, you cannot publicly, a person that's bidding publicly can't bid on the auction, or a public person can't bid. So you have to have a membership or a license to bid on whatever car. Now, for that instance, I could just show to either use, say, Auto Bid Master. What is it? The next one is Salvage Bid, and I think you have like 4 or 5 other ones where if they have their license and they're under Copart or they're under IAA, you could use their stuff to basically use their license to bid on the car that you want. And when you use their license to bid on the car that you want, works out perfectly. And you just get that out the way and you move on to the next one. So that is pretty much what I'm gonna have to do, and we're just gonna see how it goes on the next one. I just know that the one with the Audi RS3, that was a car that I was genuinely looking at. I just didn't know it was gonna go all the way up to $18,000. But I mean, for a 2024, I should have also expect that as well. And then I think I want to do something different on the channel. So I'm also looking into some other cars too that I have on the back burner. And because once I get back to the States, I'll probably just start cleaning up and get some of these cars out the way, because a couple people are asking me for the Ford Escape. So I'll probably just get rid of that for a cheap price or whatever, just so we could take some of that money back and then put it in the next car. The S5, I don't think I'm gonna get rid of that car for now, because I did put a lot of money in that car, and I think we had that car for 4 years, 4 or 3. No, I think we had that car for about 4 years. Yes, because it's about to pass how long I had the M240 for, and I had the M240 for about 4.5 years, somewhere around there. So now the Audis basically took the place of the M240i. I seen another 240i too. I don't know if I'm gonna bid on it, because as I said, I don't want to repeat the same cars, because I think I did one Volkswagen, and I think it was a Volkswagen, the BMW, the Audi, the Ford Escape, and then the Ford Escape again, because we did the 2013 and then we did the 2021. And then here and there we have a little bit of other cars in the mix, like we had the truck, we had the Honda, we had the Honda Pilot as well. So I'm just trying to see how much what I could get done for y'all, and then see how many more stuff I could get for y'all to stay engaged out here while I'm on the other side of the world. I'm trying to see what else I could do, because I don't really get to wrench a lot out here. For my friend, he has his, what is it, Nissan G, I think it's a Nissan Skyline G35. So he already bought all the parts. I just need to find out when he has time. We'll probably go do some wrenching out there. Just do some wrenching. So I'll probably do a live on that, and then y'all just watch us wrench, and we get some stuff done, and we'll just call it a day. That is one of the cars I have to work on. And then I have to go look at some other cars out here and trying to see if I can find something that's left-hand drive, so I'll take it back to the States. If I can't, then I think, because most of the cars out here are right-hand drive anyways. So, but I just gotta see what else is out there, what else I need to go get, and go from there. But as y'all know, as what I said, that's pretty much it, what I'm focused on right now. As I said, we have a whole bunch of stuff going on. I'm trying to see if, since I can't drop any more videos because I haven't got to work on any cars like that since I've been on this side, so I either shift some things from now on, just to either focus on the auctions. So early in the mornings, I'll try to get y'all auction videos from, say, I'll probably either do it 30 minutes to 1 hour every day from Monday to Friday. And then on Saturdays, I'll try to see what I could shake up different, and either while I'm walking in the town of Japan or something. But I'll see if I can give y'all more car related videos. I still haven't went to a what is it, a car meet out here, so I'm still waiting on that to see how we could work on that, and then we just get some more things in order, and then y'all could see how we get some of this stuff done. But anyways, thank y'all for watching. Thank y'all for subscribing to the channel. Don't forget to share this with your friends, your family, and even your enemies, okay? And even the haters, because you know the haters love us as well. But I'm gonna head out. I got some other things to do offline. So stay positive, stay motivated, and guess what? We are out.